All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Adam, taking a break to chill. And before I talk to you anymore, I'm eating that giant cookie right there. Take a look at that. Just had a puppy come after me because he could smell the cookie. It's not a bad day today. Definitely not looking forward to tomorrow. I'm like 95% sure that I'm going to have to ride my bike 54 miles. And I'm hoping that it's worth it. Checks in the bank. Should be fully available tomorrow. So, I'm opening up a little bit because by the time you watch this, one way or another, this situation's going to be something's going to happen here. Actually, hold on a second. I'm going to double check something. So, I wanted to double check, but I've still got 2 places to pick from to move that are still available. At least they're listed as available. And I have a feeling that if they haven't been snatched up yet, I'm pretty safe. So it is April 28th. I still don't have hot water. I'm riding my bike. I'm getting all sweaty. I'm like, I can smell myself. But everybody's been everybody at work, everybody at the bakery knows exactly what's going on, like details, and they're shocked, like floored. I haven't been able to share everything with you guys on the channel yet. By the time that this video goes live that you're watching right now, I will have already made some sort of maneuver on this situation here. And I'm not 100% sure what it's going to be because money is so fucking tight. This guy threw a big monkey wrench into my budget with this bullshit. And I'm coming at him for when I press the big red button to attack and launch my nukes, he's going to get attacked 4 different ways. He's not even going to know what to fucking do with himself. I'm not quite ready to drop all of that information other than, people keep giving me, really solid advice like just move. All right. People keep giving me just wonderful advice. Just go buy a car. Just go buy one. Just go buy a car. Because you got so much money in the bank to just, because broke-ass people who just got done being homeless, making less than 25 grand a year can just go buy a car. That's that simple. Just move. Just move. Just pack your bags and move. It's that simple. It's that simple. But I've been working on it. I've been working on it since April 3rd. April 3rd, when this motherfucker started threatening me, telling me I gotta pay more rent. When I still, to this day, April 28th, I moved into that fucking place on February 1st. And on April 28th, today, I not only don't have hot water, I don't even have a working shower. He turned off the shower to the point I can't use it. He's told me 3 times in the last fucking week that he's going to put in a hot water tank tomorrow. 3 different fucking times, and I still don't have hot water to this day. So, he's obviously trying to shove me out the door. Like, he wants me gone at the end of the month, and he's trying to force me out. But that, fuck around and find out is a saying that's been going around these days, and that motherfucker is going to find the fuck out. But it's all going to start when I get out and find my own place, when I find a better place. And I think tomorrow, there's signs from above. I don't know for sure, but however I go see the place tomorrow, I feel like there's a 5% chance I can get a ride. And there's a 95% chance it's going to be on my bicycle. Either way, I've got to spend most of tomorrow juggling money around and making sure, knowing exactly what I have in the bank. My only concern with this place that I'm going to look at is, A, is the landlord a dick? All these landlords want to do a background check on prospective tenants. Oh, we got to do a background check. You got to have proof of income, and we're going to do a background check, and, because you're a piece of shit unless you prove otherwise. You need to do a background check on the fucking landlord when you move into a place. That's the biggest lesson of all right now. So far, with this landlord, something I can talk about, because this is part of the story, but this isn't all of it. This motherfucker has started multiple businesses to rip people off. I've got countless screenshots and documented, there are people I can contact to get information about this guy from. How much time in the day do I have to do all of this? But I have discovered he has started at least 2 businesses, one of which he claims to be veteran owned. He's going around telling people that he's a veteran, but I don't know if he is or not. I'm not going to say he's not, because I don't know. He could be, but I have a feeling, based on the rest of the things I've found, that he's not. But he goes around pretending to be a veteran-owned business, takes people's money and runs to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars. He had a lawn care business that he took a bunch of people's money and never mowed their lawns. He had a delivery, some sort of delivery truck, some sort of business involving deliveries and truck driving, something along those lines, where he took a bunch of people's money and disappeared. I got a picture of it. I downloaded the dude's driver's license because somebody posted his driver's license on a post talking about one of his scams. So I've got his driver's license, a screenshot of his driver's license from doing internet searches. What else did I find? Oh, the Harris County website. Harris County is the county in Texas that Houston is located in. For free, you have to register, and it takes like 5 minutes. You got to sign up for an account, but you can search for criminal records database. And I searched for this guy, and he popped right up with a laundry list of crimes: fraud, burglary, robbery, prostitution. He was a fugitive from another state. Supposedly, I've been told that that's Florida. A little bit more research brought up his address in Florida. And I can't even keep... I have piles and piles and piles of stuff that I have found about this guy. He's a career criminal. He rips people off nonstop. Everything he does is a scam. I don't understand how he thought he was going to get away with fucking, he picked the wrong motherfucker to fuck with, because in fact, I got 5 different ways I'm going to hit back, and it's all going to happen at once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different directions, all at the same time, and he's going to be buried by it. I don't know if he watches these videos. I don't give a fuck if he does at this point. He done fucked up. Not providing a tenant with hot water in the rental unit for 3 months is bad enough, but that wasn't enough to make me retaliate. But you threaten me? You threaten me? You think you're going to take the roof over my head and throw me out in the fucking street because I refuse to pay a couple of $100 a month more to live in a fucking squalid shithole that doesn't even have hot water after 3 months? You're out of your fucking mind, you fucking moron. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You wait till you see what the fuck's coming your way, you stupid piece of shit. So anyway, if he's watching these fucking videos, he'll find out soon enough anyway. By the time this video goes live, I got 5 different ways to hit back hard, and I'm gonna do it all at the exact same time. Boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. when you hit someone with that many bombs, when you drop that many bombs from 5 different directions, all aimed at the same target, goodbye. Goodbye, Osama bin Laden. It's over. It's over. I mean, this guy's used to going to court. He's a career criminal. I looked at the details of one of the fraud cases, and I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming that one of the fraud cases is related to one of the fake businesses that he set up and took everybody's money from. And I was looking through the court documents just because I'm like fascinated. And like, there's so much of it. I mean, it would take me months to dig through all this shit about this guy that I found. He owed restitution to like 50 people to the tune of like $2,500 to $5,000 each. I couldn't even I'm just like, whoa. My screen wasn't even big enough to read all the fucking names. It was pages and pages and pages of people that he owed, that he had to pay restitution. And that was just one. I didn't even look at the prostitution one to see. I'm like, I'm going to have, next time I go to the Harris County website and dig this guy up again and start digging through the paperwork, and just for shits and giggles at this point, I'm curious as to what that was all about. Like, holy fuck. There's so much more to this story. There's so much more to this story. Like, I'm literally just giving you the tip of the iceberg at this point. Now, have I been ripped off? To the extent I have paid a security deposit, a month's rent, another month's rent. So I paid a security deposit and the rent for February. Then I paid the rent for March, and then I paid the rent for April. And I've had a roof over my head the entire time. Up until the beginning of April, about 3 weeks ago, I could still take showers in the unit. But now the water doesn't work at all. And it's just, he's just stalling. He is the biggest piece of shit, cheapskate, slumlord, asshole, douchebag, cocksucker, motherfucker that I've ever experienced when it comes to a landlord. And I've seen it all. And I'm talking about not just my own experience, but he's worse than everybody's experience that I've ever known. Like, all my friends that have dealt with landlords, everybody that I've ever known that has dealt with a shitty landlord, and my God, there's so many of them. I have plenty of experiences with that. I know tons of people who have a bad landlord story. Anybody who's ever rented for enough time has a bad landlord story. There's lots of bad landlords out there. This one's the worst landlord. Everybody at the bakery is fascinated by this story. Like, nobody's giving me shit for coming in scruffy. Everybody knows I'm having a rough life right now. And they're cool with it. Like, everybody's treating me with respect and dignity, and like telling me what they think I should do about the situation. And I'm like, don't you worry, I'm doing that and more. Not a single person who knows all the details about that. Like, the people, like, oh boy, people are volunteering to help me do what I need to do in the situation. And it feels good. It feels good that there is like there's an army of recruit. In fact, I might even have some of my fans here on the YouTube channel help out. There are things that you can do in this situation to make sure that this piece of shit never does what he's done to me or anybody else again. But we'll get there when we get there. It's not for today. Not 100% sure if this video will even come out, because if I do move, it's the 28th. Today is the 28th. Today is Monday. Tomorrow's the 29th. Wednesday is the 30th. That's the last day of the month. So if I find a place to live on Tuesday and I'm somehow able to make it work, the problem is both of the places that I can move into, I need to get the electric put in my name. That could be as easy as a phone call. And I'm expecting that I'm going to have to pay some sort of bad credit loser douchebag security deposit to get electric in my name. It could be $300. That would be my estimate. That'd be my guess. And the place that I'm looking at tomorrow, I have to absolutely 100% verify that I can get internet at that place that's a high-speed internet connection, because T-Mobile says that they will not offer me service at that address, but the house right next door, literally the house right next door to that one, T-Mobile says I can get all the internet I want there. So for some reason, they're telling me, now if my hotspot works, when I go there, I'll just jump right in and use it. I'll be able to test a little bit tomorrow when I'm out there with, because this phone that I'm using right now also runs on T-Mobile, so I'll be able to at least see what the signal strength is like on the phone, and that'll give me a good idea of what to expect on that router. But number one, I'm checking on this fucking landlord, both of them. There's 2 places that I can pick from right now. There were 3. One of them's out of the game because getting a good internet connection at the place is going to be way too difficult and would take 2 to 3 months. I don't got time for that shit. It's way out in Hillbillyville, way out there. That's why. If you're scratching your head wondering why, I will get into the details, the nitty-gritty details about everything that's going on since April 3rd. And I will get into the details. But I'm just starting to open up to all of you about this right now. I don't care about sharing the fact that this guy, who's my landlord, is a career criminal, con artist, and a scam artist who's been burglarizing people and robbing people and stealing their money and setting up fake businesses to rob people of their funds and take people's money and run and flee to other states. And he's a complete piece of shit. He's a complete piece of shit. Now, I have a criminal record. And I even told people today at the bakery, we don't talk about my stuff at the bakery, but I said at the bakery, I said, look, I wouldn't judge somebody because they have a criminal record. That would not sway me. That would not be a be-all, end-all. I know I have a criminal record. So what kind of a hypocrite would that make me? But when you look at my criminal record, you're going to see one thing. You're going to see mean tweets. Technically, you're going to see interstate threats and threatening a federal officer. And, but you're going to see one mistake on my record. You go back my whole life, you're going to see one thing. And you will see, if you were to look at my driving record, you'll see that I got caught driving with a suspended driver's license that was never suspended, because you can also check the New York State database to see that my driver's license was never suspended, but I was convicted of it by a judge who was thrown off the bench for being an alcoholic. But that was a long time ago. That was like in the 1990s. Okay, so that's it. That's all you're ever going to be able to find on any kind of search of my name for criminal records or public records. This guy, you just see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just see a list going down a page. One thing after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next, and it's all in Houston. And supposedly he has an even longer one somewhere in Florida. And I'll find it if it's free. I'm not going to pay for it. It's not worth it. But if I can go to the county website where this guy committed all his fraud and crimes and burglaries and whatever the fuck else he did in Florida, I'll be finding that too. As long as it doesn't cost me anything to do it. I got a lot of shit to do right now. Like I said, I'm going to look at a place tomorrow. I scrounged up enough money. One of the places that I can move to is pretty close to where I live right now, but it's off on a quieter street. It's a much nicer place. It's going to cost more money, and I'll have to pay the electric bill. There were concerns. I'll have to go to a laundromat to do my laundry, and unless I get one of those apartment-size washing machine things that you can find them on Amazon, China Mart. And for just me and the amount of clothes that I go through, it might not be a bad thing. Because, if I'm working from home a lot, I can easily set something like that up. I've seen them. I've seen one of those used before. I've never done it myself, but I've seen how they work, and they're not that bad. And you can literally put them in a shower stall or a bathtub to do your laundry. They're like $200. It's better than going to a laundromat. I can hang up my clothes to dry on a drying rack, and they also have really compact. Holy shit, I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes right now. It's getting bad. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding out. I might not even make it home. I've probably got malaria by now, sitting here on this bench. But I worked out a deal with that landlord that he will split the security deposit over 2 months. So that would leave me with a lot of money in the bank. I can put down enough money to move in Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. If I do it, boom, boom, we're done. I can move. Biggest thing is getting the electric turned on. My T-Mobile hotspot will work just fine. And then I have to figure out how I'm going to do laundry. So that's option 1. Option 2, it seems like a better deal. They're both the same price per month. They're both electric. The other one has a yard. I'll have to get a lawnmower and mow a yard. But hey, I got a yard, and it's in the woods, and it has privacy, and it looks like a beautiful place with very, very quiet in a much nicer area than where I live right now. It could very well be worth the bike ride tomorrow, but the down payment for me to be able to move in is hefty. It's 2 months rent. And I do not get the vibe that the guy is going to be flexible on that in terms of splitting the down payment or something, but I might be, if I can work out the same kind of arrangement with him, split the security deposit over the first 2 months, boom, let's do it. All I have to do is verify that I can get internet turned on and get the electric turned on. And if I can spend it's going to waste all my day, my whole day tomorrow, and possibly my whole day Wednesday, and possibly my whole day Thursday is going to be wasted on moving. Like a panic rush job. Hurry up and pack everything and get the fuck out of here, move. So that come the first of the month, I can tell the landlord where I'm at right now. Keys are on the table, you piece of shit. I no longer live here. Fuck you. Fuck you. Have fun, you fucking piece of shit. And you can send my security deposit to the following address. And if he doesn't, well, according to Texas law, he'll owe me 3 times the security deposit for not sending it back. And because of the fact that he hasn't provided hot water for 3 months since I moved in there, he owes me the entire security deposit in full. Just for that reason alone. And there's a whole bunch of other legal shit. I'm just gonna leave it right there. See, the thing is, though, you take somebody to court and you get a big judgment against them, then, okay, that's fine and dandy. He owes you all this money. But how do you collect it? Now, this guy has everything in his LLC for another business that he owns. And so he has everything put in the business name so that you can't come after his personal assets. That's another big red flag, by the way, if you're renting. But you can't just assume the worst because someone... I can't say that that's a reason to trust or not trust somebody, but it's a factor into consideration. All I'm saying is you got to do a background check on the landlord just as bad as they need to do a background check on you. Not all of them will. A lot of times you talk to somebody one-on-one and they're going to be like, yeah, this guy seems all right. And they'll just go from there because they do want to rent their property. And if you can come across as somebody who has their shit together and you're not going to be a shitty tenant, and you can come across like that, then there's a chance that, you know, they're going to look past all that background check and nonsense. Believe me, I've done this so many times. I know how to play the game. But tomorrow, you know, I'm going to be paying attention to the stuff this landlord says and does when he's showing me the property. Like, if he's a total asshole to me and he's a jerk, even though I might want to move into the place, I might have to step away from it, come home, and then make my decision after I get home. And if it really boils down to having to spend one more month in my current residence, it will be the last month, because I will have enough money in the bank, even if I have to pay another month's rent, to put a down payment on a place, at least enough of a down payment to hold it till the end of the month. And then I have money on the table that I can collect by getting work done. And now that I'm in that mode, and it's not a surprise left. You know, this came out of left field on April 3rd, and I've been scrambling ever since. But I also needed to buy groceries. I also needed to do a couple of things this month. Plus, I have bills to pay. And so that's where I'm at. But yeah, I'm going to slowly give you more details and updates. But at some point, I'm going to tell the whole story from beginning to end and fill in every little nugget and detail about this guy. And believe me, I'm going to make it. If, here's a wild idea. If I put a video together telling you the story about this Houston slumlord, and that video blows up on YouTube, for whatever reason, the story is so crazy and so absurd that it actually gets traction and it blows up on YouTube, and I get a bunch of people sharing it and passing it around, and it blows up and gets a lot of attention, and all of a sudden I end up with like 1 million views on a video, and I end up with, you know, all kinds of things coming out of it. Like, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, or that I even expect that that's what's going to happen. Hello. But I'm not saying I expect that's what's going to happen, or that that's not why I would be doing it. But wouldn't that be a bit of irony if somehow going through this bullshit with this slumlord ended up being a catapult to my channel growing exponentially in a short amount of time, because the video goes viral, and at the same time it makes it so that when you search for this guy's name on Google, the video pops right up, and it's like the entire story of who this guy is and what he does. And so that could be interesting. That could be very interesting. And it's all true. You cannot sue somebody for slander when every word that you say is true and backed up with evidence. In fact, if he did come at me for that, I probably could get more money, at least a judgment in my favor. And then at some point, how do you collect that? I don't know. That's the thing. There's so many different ways to handle this situation. Part of me just wants to go find a new place to live and live in peace and be left the fuck alone and just forget about the whole thing. But then there's a part of me that wonders, and this is something I have to find out with me and God. Like, does God want me to take this guy to town? Not violently or physically, but does God want me to unleash my potential and all of the capabilities that I have on this guy? Because if I do, believe me, it's not the first time I've taken somebody down. I took down the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. I trolled them so bad. I got all kinds of recognition and little bit of Pennsylvania fame just because they pissed me off and I took them to task. and I blasted them and I beat them. I beat them so hard. This is not the first rodeo. This is not the first time I have unleashed my potential on somebody who deserved it and made them sorry that they chose the wrong person to fuck with that day. But does God want me to just walk away from this and, just, go about my life, walk away from this? Because if I do something like that, it is going to bring more stress into my life. And it's never, like, there comes a crossroads, right? You're going to go zig or you're going to zag. And if I zig and I pursue all of these options and I take this guy to task, it could pay off financially. It could pay off financially, and it could prevent this guy. Like, you lay the smackdown on somebody that hard, and they're going to think twice about doing this to somebody else because, what if it happens to me again? But when you look at this guy's criminal history, it's like he doesn't learn his lesson. I mean, he obviously hasn't learned a lesson because he just keeps doing it over and over and over and over and over again. He's got civil judgments and civil cases against him. He's got criminal cases against him. This dude's a career scam artist and criminal, straight up. And so, I don't know. And so I don't know. And, people can walk away from a court judgment and never have to pay a dime. Alex Jones, so far as I'm aware, he hasn't paid any of his $1 billion judgment. The Sandy Hook people sued him and got $1 billion. And as far as I'm aware, he's still got his house. He's still got InfoWars. He still has his studio. He's had to fight in order to keep it. But he's rich. He can afford lawyers. He can afford all that shit. He can afford to fight back. And as far as I'm aware, he hasn't paid anything. And he can probably go the rest of his life without paying a dime of that money. O.J. Simpson dodged all the different lawsuits. I mean, yeah, he bought himself the right to kill his wife. And it bankrupted him to the point where he couldn't buy his way into having the right to rob a casino a few years later. Maybe if he didn't spend all that money having the right to kill his wife, he would have been able to get away with robbing a casino. But he didn't. And so, Alex Jones. So that's what I'm getting at. Like, I'm going to come to a crossroads. I got to zig, I got to zag. If I zig, I go all in. I unleash 5 nuclear weapons at the push of a button. Even if you shoot 2 of them out of the sky, you're still getting hit with 3 of them. That's a lot of nukes. That's still going to fuck shit up. If it comes from all 5 directions at once, you're fucking done. Just one of the 5 is enough to bury somebody. Or I zag, and I just say, you know what? I want to live my life in peace. I want to move out to tranquility. I want to focus on me. I want to focus on my business. I want to focus on getting to the next level, all that stuff. And I could see God, I could see the good Lord Jesus wanting, I could see him going either way. If I'm the vessel that's supposed to put the kibosh on this scam artist once and for all, and say, you picked the wrong motherfucker to fuck with today, and it has to be me that teaches him his lesson, and, with the help of the good Lord backing me and the shield and the armor of Christ, if I'm the vessel that needs to put him down, well, I'm cool with that. I can do that. I would have a blast, because I'm creative. I'm way more creative than your average Joe. And the things that I can think of, the 5 things that I've already thought of, everybody at the bakery knows. Everybody at the bakery knows what I'm planning on doing, and they're like, oh yeah, you should do all of that, and then you should do this, that, and the other thing, and they're all for it. They're like, I don't want to. They all agree that they don't want to see this guy get away with it again. But they also can see my point of view if I go the other way and say, I'm just going to walk away from it and live my life in peace and put this in the past. But then, he's going to go and rip off somebody else and make somebody else's life miserable. And he's going to steal from people, and he's going to burglarize somebody, and he's going to just keep doing his thing. He's a career criminal. He's a scam artist. So it's like, is anybody ever going to be able to teach somebody a lesson who has been arrested and thrown in the joint over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? I don't know. So that's why I'm just going to ask God for his divine wisdom. I'm sure I'll get plenty of comments in the troll section about what to do or not to do or whatever. I get them every day now. I get nasty comments every time I log in. But the way I'm going to ask God is make it clear. Make it crystal clear. Like, make it so obvious what you want me to do that I don't have any other option but to obey, because you've made it so crystal clear the direction you want me to go that if I turn the other way and go the other direction, I'm going to know for sure that I'm going the wrong way. And so, like I said, I'm going to get to that point. I got to zig, I got to zag. One, I go after him and I teach him a lesson and I say, you picked the wrong motherfucker to mess with today. I can pull stories out of my past. There are people who have crossed me who wish they didn't. And I didn't have to lift a finger. I didn't have to punch anybody. I didn't have to do anything violent. I didn't have to threaten anybody or say a word. I just went, oh, we're cool. I just pretended like fist bump, we're cool. We're totally cool. And turn around and stab you in the back when you're not looking. But, only someone who would deserve it. This guy has earned it tenfold. There are people out there, if they found out and they saw his name attached to what I'm going to do, they would be contacting me, thanking me for bringing this guy out and making him famous. Houston famous. I don't know. It's where does it cross the line from doing what's right to just being vindictive and vengeful to the point where even God's like, all right, you've gone too far. Right? Because Jesus says, turn the other cheek. If somebody strikes you in the face, bam, you're supposed to turn the other cheek and tell them, here, you missed a spot. Homie, don't play that. I don't play that way. You hit me in the face, you may not get physically hit back, but you're going to wake up one day wishing you didn't fucking do it. That I can guarantee you. Don't fuck with the guy who's a tech expert who knows graphic design inside and out, marketing, and knows how to play the media. Just don't. But like I said, I got a lot of shit I want to get done in my life, and I'm trying to pick up the pieces from a shattered existence. And do I really want to spend time that I can't get back and time that I can't put towards something important to teach a scoundrel a lesson? So I don't know. Only if God wants me to do it. And so that's what I have to pray about. I have to pray that he helps me get through this tough situation. And I have to pray that he tells me the right thing to do And I have to pray that God gives me the direction, and he makes it crystal clear which direction he wants me to go. Like God God put this on me on the exact same day that I came home from prison for a reason. This guy was already this guy was already planning on slipping the rug out from under me and pulling a scam on me well before April 3rd, but he waited until April 3rd to do it. And he caught me off guard a little bit. Something was wrong with this guy from day one. But I looked at it as, I'm only going to be here for 6 months. Like with this hot water situation taking as long as it has, there was no chance I was going to be here at the end of the lease. I was not going to, 3 months to fix the fucking hot water and you still haven't done it. Like that is, I would have been willing to ride out the lease, but I don't have to now. Legally, I don't have to do a fucking thing. Legally, I can leave tomorrow and the motherfucker still has to give me my security deposit back because there is no lease at this point. The lease is null and void from my end because he didn't provide hot water. And with the threats and with threatening to throw me out of the house at the end of the month, if I don't agree to pay more rent, that's retaliation. There's damages for retaliation. There's damages for everything this motherfucker has done. Moving costs that I can recover. There's a lot of shit in Texas law that is available to me if I'm willing to go and collect. And, I've done my homework. But is all of it going to be worth the hassle and stress? I don't know. And this is there's so many factors to this. I don't even think if I took this guy to task and took him to court and won, which I'm going to, there's no doubt, if he took me to court and tried to evict me, the judge would throw his case in the trash. The lawyers I've talked to have both said that he has absolutely nothing, that he has absolutely nothing that he can do to me. I have all the cards in my deck right now. And everything that he has done, every single thing this guy has done nothing but bury him in more evidence and more potential judgment in my favor. But once again, it's nobody wins when you go to court except for the lawyer. The lawyers win when you go to court. Everybody else loses. So even if I went to court and I spanked him and I beat his ass and I won a bunch of money, I still lose. And that's the thing. I just don't know if it's worth my time. So right now, my focus is getting the fuck out of this place. Getting the fuck out. 2 options on the table. Hopefully, if neither one of them work out and I have to stay for 1 more month, he's getting the regular amount of money for rent. He's not getting more money than that. And sometime around the middle of the month, I'm going to have a new place. I would say by the 15th, I will have signed a new lease by the middle of the month because I am feverishly looking for a place. And, and if for some reason I don't get to move at the very end of this month and just bounce, I might be able to do it in a little bit more controlled and without having to be rushed. I might be able to pull off something. But I'm getting out. There's so many people leaving shitty comments on the channel acting as if I'm just sitting around complaining about this every day and I'm not actually doing anything about it. The reason I'm putting these videos on a 1-week delay is because I'm not going to be putting out what I'm doing until after it's done. I'm not going to just advertise what the fuck my plans are to the whole world, especially to, people I don't want knowing. To think that I'm just sitting in a chair all day going, oh, I don't know what to do. No. No. On April 3rd, I lawyered up. I started making calls. I started looking for a place. I was looking at an apartment on April 4th. I went and looked at a fucking place on April 4th. The day after he did that shit. I had places lined up. I've been looking at things all month long. I've been talking to people. I've gone to look at 2 places in person, and I've talked to other people and just, didn't get a good vibe and was like, because, like I said, you got to do a background check on the landlord, just like they want to do one on you. And so, do your diligence. But to think I'm just sitting around taking it from this guy, think again. Think again. I'm not fucking around with this shit. But that doesn't mean I'm going to just advertise it in real time, day by day by day. This is what I plan on doing. And I'm still not telling you everything. So just stay tuned. It's going to get interesting. I'm going to give you the details. And believe me, if I go all in on this shit, I'm going all in. All in. And if I don't, that's good too. That's fine. I'll get to my work and I'll just focus on what I need to do. Chaos to come back, bitches. That's what it's all about. Peace.